Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. As you can see, my new microphone. Very excited about it. So we're going to get started on the 5-week update.
Well, the moment you felt you could start over new was the same that you realized the stories were true. You opened your eyes and the world you could see, it wasn't dim, it was brighter, you'd have to agree. Oh, now your fears are gone, they were buried with the dawn. And oh, now you feel alive for the very first time. Oh, now your fears are gone, they were buried with the dawn. And oh, now you feel alive for the first time. Not hold me yet, not hold me yet. No, you're not home yet. No, not home, but you finally found the way.
I think this is just like a side topic. I think I'm going to do a different intro for these videos, just so that people can differentiate. Because I've wanted to do a new intro for my channel in general, because this year's is just the second half, like last year's. Okay, so I had 2 last year, and basically didn't do it till the beginning of spring, like about this time frame, and then I just slapped 2022 basically on it. Super lazy, but it's also a really long video, and I want to get away from that. It's a really long intro, so I'm gonna do something a little bit shorter, I think, with an outro. I don't know. Let me figure it out. Wait a minute, I'm thinking about doing a different introduction. This is 5 weeks. It is Tuesday. I was supposed to do this update on Sunday, so we won't talk about anything since Sunday, but I forgot on Sunday. It was Easter. It was a lot. So, doing it today. I am 5 weeks as of Sunday. We're talking about the whole week leading up to being 5 weeks. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot that went differently for me in terms of leading up to 4 weeks and then leading up to 5 weeks. There was no real big difference there. I worked a couple of days knowing that I was pregnant, and honestly, I think the difference that I noticed is that my back hurt more. And my back hurt a lot with my last pregnancy too, because I wasn't even working, but I just think the weight of it really hurt my back at the end, and at the beginning my back just hurt in general, and that caused I really needed to go to the chiropractor at the beginning of my pregnancy, but I just didn't because we were in Texas. It was a whole thing, and I had really bad acid reflux, and it was a rough time in the beginning that time. Yeah, so I'm thinking about scheduling a chiropractic appointment for myself sometime in the next week. So it'll be my week 6 to 7. A couple of things that I did want to update on. I want to do the chiropractic really bad. I am starting my prenatals. Technically not this week, but still I'm starting my prenatals, and I'm going to be doing that a little bit earlier. I'm also going to be taking them a little bit earlier. I'm also trying to decide when I want to do some things. So anyone who's found out that they're pregnant very early, you're kind of faced with a decision, a set of decisions, and everyone has to make them whether or not they really think about it. And it's not so much a worried thing for me, but it's more just what is necessary, what isn't necessary. So for example, I'm going to have a birth photographer this time. I'm also going to film my birth. I follow this TikToker that's live streaming her birth. If you know who she is, you know who she is. She's amazing. I'm so excited. I literally am so excited because I've never actually seen someone give birth. I've seen birth vlogs, but they're different, because they're edited and they're very raw, but they're still very it's cut and whatever. And I'm just very excited to be along for the ride with somebody, because I've never been I've always wanted to be a doula, I've always thought about it, and I've just never done it because I'm like, that's not a real thing. That's not a thing people want. There's no demand for that. I was so wrong, and I want to do it so bad, but I don't know if that's a step that I should take for myself. But anyway, not the point. I'm definitely not doing it during this pregnancy. It would be something I would pursue next year, not this year. But anyway, so I'm just like, I've never really been on that journey with somebody. I've never gone through like a birth with somebody, and like, I remember when a YouTuber I used to watch gave birth to her second son. She did a home birth, and she had put varying like updates on Instagram, and that alone was like so exciting. I could not imagine live streaming. That would be amazing. I'm not there yet. I just want a video of it because like I really enjoyed my last birth, and it was rough at the end and whatever, but I do wish that I had a video of it to see like how my memory compares to how it actually happened. So I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to pick to be my person to like be in charge of the camera and make sure there's video footage and backup storage for the camera and that kind of stuff, and you know, film when it happens, because I've got my like doula there. Like I'm going to have my doula, but that is a second thing that I'm going to talk about for like assistance. But like I'm trying to make decisions, and I think that that's a decision that can wait for a little while. So that one's not my upfront, but I am going to film. I am going to have a birth photographer. I want a specific person. I already know who when is too early to book, right? This is the question that I'm trying to figure out. Because like, yes, I could find somebody probably in like the last 4 or 5 weeks of like being pregnant if I wanted to, but I want a specific person. I'm trying to decide when is too early to book because I'm only 5 weeks. So when is too early to book? I reached out to her on Monday after I posted, which technically is after this video was supposed to be recorded, but I wanted to know like what her process was and everything like that. She gave me all the information, but I just am like, I have questions. Like, when do you book? Because like, I already know I'm already pregnant. I want to do this. It's not a matter of deciding. Also, I'm like, when do I hire my doula? When do I schedule my first appointment? Like, I know what time frame I'm going in for my first appointment. It's going to be around 11, 12-ish weeks, right at the end of my first trimester, that I'm going to go in to my midwife for the first time. But when do I schedule that appointment? Do I wait? I'm thinking like around 7 or 8 weeks. So it's like 4 weeks, because typically like that's when you book like in general. So like if I go to, when I go to my 12-week appointment, my like first initial appointment, then when I get home or on the car ride or whatever, I'm going to schedule my next appointment, which is like, I want to say it's like a month from then. Yeah, it's a month from then. Right that same day. So like a month out. So I feel like a month out is enough time. Right. Yeah, that's enough time. But like I want to do it now so I don't have to remember later or forget. You know, like I don't want to forget. And I know it's not that big of a deal, but like to me it feels like a big deal. And I know that they're very busy because they're the only birth center within like an hour of here. And like outside of that, there's like, they have another birth center an hour north of here. And then I think there's something in like one of the major cities, and that's it. That's it for the state. It sucks. There are other midwives I know, but like, I don't know if I want a home birth or if I want to do a birth center birth. I want both options right now. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But I want to get on her docket because I don't want her to be booked. Like, when do I book that, right? That's my question. When do I do it? So I think I'm going to do it around 8 weeks, and I think I'm going to figure out the birth photography this Friday. When do I do my doula? Do I do that around the same time that I go in for my first appointment? Because then I should really put a reminder on my phone so I feel like I can stop questioning, like, when do I do this? Because then I'll at least have the reminder and be like, oh yeah, this is when I'm going to do it. When do I decide to buy my bump box? Okay, because I want to do that again for myself. Except I want to do the postnatal one too, the 4th trimester box that they have. And I loved them last time. You guys, if you saw any of my unboxing videos for my last pregnancy, I have a whole like playlist, so definitely go check out my playlist for my last pregnancy if you're confused or you have any questions or you're like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna reference a lot of stuff for my last pregnancy because I'm doing a lot of it similarly. Not all the same, obviously, but I'm doing a lot similarly, so it's going to be very similar to my last one, but I'm kind of deciding, like, I made those decisions, like, I think it was, like, at 7 or 8 weeks I ordered my bump box, and everything was like at the end of my at the end of the trimester that I received it, because there's like processing time and everything. But I also don't want to do it too early, because what if I do suffer a loss early on and I bought it ahead of time? And again, it's not that I'm like worried, but more just like, then what do I do? Like, I know I can reach out to them and be like, hey, I suffered this loss, like, I need to cancel, whatever. But can I? I'm sure I can, but like, it's just weird. It's just a weird place to be. And there's a lot to think through. So that's where I'm at. Like, no really new physical symptoms or anything, except just a ton of nausea. I want to say it was like Saturday or something. I literally gagged. I was watching my nephew's snot just drip down his nose, and I was like, it was like the whole saliva thing with the dog. I watched it happen, and I was like, I couldn't do it. And it's just, it gets me in like a certain moment, and I'm like, I can't. But like on the average, like whatever, not a big deal. Super weird. It's super weird. On Sunday, halfway through the day, I was like, I could nap. I could take a long nap, but I don't want to because I got stuff to do. And I know that like there's a certain point where I'm going to forgo the stuff for the nap, but this month is just too busy for that. Which sounds like an excuse, but it's chaos. It's so chaotic. So just not the day. But also today, Gabriel is not feeling super well, so he slept in until like after 9:30. So it was really nice because I actually felt like I got good rest. Granted, he was up at like 2 a.m., so my poor husband is exhausted, but I feel well rested. We'll do a bump shot, and then it's probably going to be it for the update. There's not a whole lot at the beginning, as you guys know, and as I said in the last time I did this, I do these as documentation for anything I can think of. Ooh, right now, the baby is as big as I want to say 4 weeks was a poppy seed, 5 weeks is a grain of rice to a chocolate chip, something like in that range. Gonna do the bump shot after this.
Also, I'm going to do my bump shot now, so I'm just going to move my mic. It's cushy baby belly.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and then subscribe and hit the bell down below so you can get notifications for when more weekly updates come out. We post these on Mondays and I get them up. I try to record them every Sunday, so it's like on that day. So everything is as up to date as it could possibly be, and then it comes out the next day so that you guys can see it all. There's a little bit of catch up at the beginning because we obviously didn't tell everyone like the day we found out. But it's only like a week behind, so I should be caught up. So this will go out when I'm like 6 weeks, and then my 6th week will go out that Friday, and then on the next Monday we'll be caught up and I'll be 7 weeks, and I'll be 7 weeks and it'll be the 7-week update. So yes. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
So that's the 5-week update. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Love, Genevieve.